The thing I'd say to that is some teams, like the MCG, because it's open, it's an open stadium, the ball moves around, there's a lot of wind in there. Yep. Some teams play better in chaos. At Marvel Stadium, there's less chaos. It's a more precise game because the conditions are benign.
It will be very interesting to see how the Saints forward line functions. As we said, the first time Membry and Max King have played together this season. Let's head to the opening bounce, Marvel Stadium, St Kilda and Richmond.
Marshall jumped early, Nankervis the tap, down to Prestia, couldn't quite take it cleanly. Taranto immediately wrapped up.
I've got that Bolter and King match-up down the St Kilda forward end. Wilkie versus Dusty at the other.
A couple of great matchups to keep an eye on. McIntosh and Mason Wood on that far wing. Mason Wood, 36 touches last week, a career best. Two running machines. Crouch and Prestia, shoulder to shoulder in the middle. Seb Ross, welcome back. Gets it inside 50. Here is that Bolter. King matchup. Gets over the back. Welcome back, Membry. He sets up Higgins. Back to Membry. Chips it high. Ross will stand and wait. Hamstring the last 4 weeks. Great start.
That's a great start for both inclusions. His Membry got onto that ground ball, that loose ball, so quickly, didn't he? As we see here, it was a bold kick, a brave kick, but it was the right option. Let's hope for St Kilda fans that Ross can go back and finish. It'd be an awesome start.
Not a prolific goal kicker, as you can see, from 45 out. Does it get there? No one on the line for the Saints, and Nankervis picks it off.
Not sure whether Ross is going to be delighted, Jonesy.
Oh, he'd be frustrated.
No one on the last line, so battle goes up. Fist from Bauer. Martin tries to slap it in, couldn't do it. Sense of apprehension coming in for Saints fans today. They know the equation. They've been in the 8 all year. It's 7th coming in, 11 and 9. A couple of wins should do it. A tough run home to navigate. Tigers, Cats and Lions, and the Gabba road trip is proving too tough a task for many right now. Marshall Nankervis off Crouch's face. Now Ross under pressure. Too much pressure, it seems, in the end. Chris Johnson puts his hand up and signals out of bounds on the full.
Come out another couple. That's good. That's high five.
Wanganeen-Milera happy to go short to Ross.
Stand.
One of the two ins for the Saints today with Membry.
Stand.
The running machine in Sinclair gives it off as Ross glides past. Owen's moved out of it, and Nankervis safe as a house.
Couple of important touches early for Toby down back as Balzer gallops away. Searching kick to the outer side. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Saints, and Wilkie comes over the top with Baker.
Jack. Thank you.
Just clutching at his right side there, Cal Wilkie. Drives it back inside 50 again. Membry off his hands. All Tigers at the front. Short. High up and under. Martin comes out full-chested and takes it. Immediately away towards half forward. It's going to get picked off, and Cordy has it in the corridor. Can swing it wide and use Wanganeen-Milera.
Overlap is on. Windhager takes his time, measures the kick to Membry.
Stand.
Options inboard are ignored. King circles. Tyler Young pushing him about at the moment. Sinclair chosen.
Stand.
Marshall with Nankervis. Young continues to go with Max King, and now a chance. Wanganeen-Milera from just outside 50. This will fall short too. Chance for Mason Wood. Might have taken the mark, and it favours his left boot. No. Juggle.
Rush, please. Toby. Mitch is up.
Probably fair enough.
Good call, William.
Nankervis at the front against Owens.
Yours.
Slapped away by Prestia. Awkward bounce for McIntosh and Wood, while taken by Ross. Webster was quick. Wood. Gresham turns it over. Taranto cuts it off.
It's just that last little bit of polish going inside 50 for the Saints. Other than that, the game's really looking like they'd want it to. They've locked it in their forward half. Very stagnant ball movement from the Tigers trying to get out.
Come back again. Almost 50 against Baker for grabbing onto Marshall. Released just in time. Disposal's now 22-7. It's been all St Kilda early. Sinclair receives the switch from Webster and then misses Windhager. Jack Ross, first man back onto it. Chips it down the line, was looking for Rioli, who was unaware it was heading in his direction. Sinclair straight lines it to the boundary.
The one obvious matchup at the moment seems to be Brad Crouch going to Dylan Grimes almost at every opportunity he possibly can.
Marshall got the front spot, knocked it down to the captain, Filippo. Doesn't go a big distance, Broad. Little knock was good, Ross. There's the ball intercepted by a steal. Filippo, the youngster, under immediate pressure. Crouch gets away, gives off the handball. Sinclair. Quick kick. Broad again. Congratulations to his wife. Little one during the week. First for the pair. Samara. Well done, Taylor. Here's Broad again. Hill. He's pushed him away. Left foot over the top. Sets up the Saints at speed. Gresham. Ball obliges. Kicks the goal. Saints away.
This is the sign early. The Saints switched on Higgins there onto it, then Hill quickly onto the loose ball. That's what created this opportunity. The St Kilda DNA of pressure, front half, winning contest. It's a good sign.
Bolton looks to sweep onto it. Filippo involved. Dow coming back the other way. Nice pick up, Thompson. Dow off to Short. Inside 50 for the Tigers. Swooping in there was Taranto. Baker tries to keep it moving. Sinclair. Windhager and Wilkie. Back towards Sharman's got Grimes to deal with and numbers at the back for the Tigers. Flostone. To centre half forward for Martin to come over the top. Well done, Marshall. Stood tall. And now the Saints look to attack again off half-back. Wanganeen-Milera spreads it wide for Membry. Working hard down the line is Wood. Heads in that direction. Good effort there from Coulthard. Got it to ground. Gresham picks it up, snaps it goalwards, and kicks another. Good start for Jade Gresham. He's got two early. And the Saints make a bright start.
That's what you love from your big man, getting down the line and intercepting here. But we spoke to Ross in the pre-game about being bold with their ball movement, how quickly Marshall wanted to get that ball into motion to Wanganeen-Milera. And even there, it wasn't perfect, wasn't pretty at the top of 50, but they found a way to pounce back on it. It was a great finish.
Gresham's got a couple. Biggest ball in his AFL career against the Tigers at MCG. Kicked 6 straight. That was back in 2018 as the Tigers try and get their hands on the football. Martin tackled. Windhager was the tackler, got it away in the end. Baker back to Martin. Skips past Steele and eases the ball inside 50. Bolton not quite. Chance for Cordy to mop up. Did well, off to Sinclair. But half-back goes to the outer wing. King, Membry, couldn't quite work it out. Bolter with the athleticism, got hold of it, then got hold of the football and taken high. So Bolter can reload for the Tigers. Soldo. Just lobs it in. Wilkie front spot. Bow had a good crack at it. Now a chance for McIntosh and Graham to talk through it all. Graham got hands on the football. Back to Broad. Inside pitches. Baker. Pretty clever footballer onto his left. Out of bounds. Umpire. Throw it back in. Left forward pocket for the Tigers.
This is really stark when you look over the stat sheet. Only 10 Tigers players have had a touch of the footy so far.
And 1 tackle in 10 minutes of football. Despite the Saints having the bulk of possession, can Richmond manufacture something to get themselves started here?
Holding, St.Kilda. Stop.
It's coming back to Rowan Marshall. St.Kilda's spread's been effective so far. Tigers are going to need to find a way to shut that down. Sinclair, so often the architect. Webster. Crouch thought about the give, then went himself, then ran himself into all sorts of trouble.
On the ball, no handball, no handball. Stand.
Can Bolton make them pay on the counter? No, he just sells Flostone into trouble.
Fine.
I'm not sure about that decision.
He said no handball in the end.
Did it not hit the fist?
Let's play on for mine.
It's been play on for much of the year, hasn't it?
Down. Ran straight into Filippo and somehow still extracted it, but gave it to Hill. Taranto lays an effective tackle. Umpire calls for it. Soldo the tap, Bolton the crumb. Went looking for Dow, but it's picked off by Butler. Back to Gresham. Pokes it through some traffic. Flostone will be first man back. Handball a little too much on it for Young, who'll turn Shepherd up. Keeps Wood away from McIntosh so he can kick to half forward. Nankervis kept his feet. Back to McIntosh. Gets rid of Wood. Now Graham. Richmond looking to build. High kick inside 50. Bauer will fly. Steele. Sinclair. Saints escape again.
Taken cleanly by Wood, who rolls onto the left leg, kicks it long down the line. Battle is won by Flostone. Big punch, gets about 35 metres. 2 Tigers were there. Mason Wood arrived and couldn't believe that the ball wasn't already stolen. Disposal efficiency tells a tale. 80 to 56. Disposals in total 51 to 34 in favour of the Saints. McIntosh, not the 15 to Flostone. Happy to take his time and then go low towards full forward. Bauer again has Wilkie for company. Then Curvis busts out of the battle tackle. Bolton had it, lost it. Hill gave it to Sinclair. Now to the one from Stocker. Back to battle. Martin stole it. Gave it to Baker. Baker kicks the goal. Nothing about it was pretty or easy, but Baker, the man from Lake Grace, gets the Tigers back to within 6 for his efforts onto the bench.
Just watch Dusty here rip it out. I've loved his start. He's looked sharp, and if he's not kicking goals, he's setting them up. Beautiful finish by Baker. You just get a sense that the Tigers are settled now, matching the intensity of the Saints.
Took them 10 minutes, but it feels like they're in the game. Soldo the tap. Taranto looks to shrug Steele. Has to release the handball. Punched forward by Wood. Steele works hard to get there first. Coulthard tries to close on him. Steele's kick bounces inside 50. Young attacks it. Does it well. And now Taranto back in the other direction. Held the handball back. Missed Bolton. Tidied up by Dow. He's clipped high on the way through and gets the free kick. Which he spreads wide for McIntosh. Bauer tries to get there to force a contest. Can't do so. It's picked off by Battle. Stocker to a 2-on-1. Will it work for Broad? Sharman tries to run him down. Does it successfully. And then receives. Can kick it inside 50. Can Bolton get there? He can't. He taking an aggressive position on King, couldn't get back.
You just see the dare with the Saints. As soon as they turn the footy over anywhere in their back half, they want to go instantly out the other side. Wasn't necessarily the best play, but they were able to, through Sharman's efforts, mop it up and catch Richmond's defence on the hop with King out the back.
A stop-start year with those shoulder problems. 16-7 for the season. From 48 metres. No problem. Quick counter punch from the Saints after Richmond had a bit of time in possession. Marching back out to 12 points.
That's as pure strike as I've seen him kick all year. Had no issues from 50. It's a great sign for the Saints. Great sign for him to get on the scoreboard early.
Block, St.Kilda, straight up.
And Maddie's match, number 12 for the Saints, getting on the board. The Saints lead by 12. Again, Max King amongst all of that. Full stretch, Filippo. Tyler Young gets the ball outside the defensive 50. Solo had to wait for it to bounce into his hands, gave it off to McIntosh. He in turn to Pickett. Low ball, not handled well initially, at least by Prestia. Gets a second opportunity. Handballs to Soldo. Heard the call, short. Happy to work it down the line. Dow, McIntosh stops Butler, puts the tackle on, back to Dow. Sidestep was good. Now inside 50. Chance for McIntosh. Nankervis. Make it Bauer who fumbled the ball. Owens kicks long, and suddenly the Saints look dangerous. Butler looked about, realised there was no one coming at him. Just canters on the outer side, pulls up over the top. Higgins, he can go wide if he wants. Decides on Higgins.
Ground.
Well, you heard the umpire. Ground. Play on in the end. Membry. King looking for another over the shoulder. He's got two. Saints have got 4 straight. All looked a bit too easy, Jonesy.
It did, didn't it? It's more the rush kick from defensive 50, how that found Butler all on his own on the wing.
It was almost like he thought the ball was going to come back. There was no one near him. He kept looking over his shoulder to go, you sure I'm this clear?
Yeah, it was like a pop-up sprinkler. Just, you love those ones. It was a great call by the ump, but a beautiful recovery from Higgins. And that man again gets his tail up with an easy set shot at the start. Finds himself on the end of another. That's a great sign for the Saints forwards.
Tigers have to dig in here, getting burnt on the counter punch at the moment.
Mike, thank you.
You're right, Jace. That's the number one concern. How Butler popped up on the wing there without any defensive frontal pressure from a Richmond defence is concerning.
Soldo battling away in the middle. Jono, what have you made of St Kilda's ability to whisk it off half-back?
Look, we know they're dangerous. We seen this last week, what they were able to do, and they've been very threatening in that area. I think it's been clean and it's well structured. And as Jonesy said, every time they win the ball like they are here, they're all just going, getting to space as quick as they can. Sinclair, Hill, Steele, and Sinclair again. They just swarm forward. Sinclair, low and flat, perfect for Hill. Lovely kick, and he has it 60 from goal. He's got King calling for it short. Goes more central. Options are plenty, and he picks Filippo.
Now, we've touched on the Saints ball movement, but when you look across the critical stats from a brand perspective, the style they play their footy, as we see here, what a kick from Sinclair. And again, just composure from Hill to wait for a pocket of space and find Filippo.
Impressive first season. 21st game this afternoon. And he slots his 11th goal. What a prospect he's going to be. So much excitement about him pre-draft this time last year about being one of the X-factor players of the draft. You come in and play 21 games in your first year. Average 13 possessions and kick 11 goals and counting. It's been a great return for a debut season playing that role.
This is a big concern for Richmond at this point. Just the lack of intensity from their forwards to get down and help fill that space. With all of the time that Hill took to actually make that decision to find Philippou, I'd love to see a lift on the defensive side, defensive intent from the Tigers.
Philippou, 8-1 now from set shots this year, 11 goals. Tackle count, Jonesy. A huge disparity. Get to that in just a moment as the Tigers raffle it around. Pickett, little fumble, but has the pace to run away from Ross. Bolton, handballs inside. Martin just presses pause, kicks from 55. All Saints, 40 marks. Jones, in terms of the tackles, hard to believe 19-5.
Yeah, that's alarming, and that all makes up what I was talking about before about defensive intent.
They're just sharing around the Saints. They are stripped on this occasion. Well done, Coulthard. Can he set something up here for Revolt at the front? Well done, Battle. Martin keeps it alive. Does he? No, he does not. Says it's a throw. So, always a worry when one team's had more possessions and more tackles. Well, the Saints plus 15 disposals. Tackles 19-6 right now. When they get it, Richmond just unable to touch them.
Well, it's almost a repeat of last week when they played the Bulldogs as well, Jace. It was exactly the same. The Bulldogs had more possession of the ball and Richmond had less tackles.
Is it structure or effort, Jono?
I think it's just structure at the moment. There's a lot of zoning off. There's a lot of thinking that everyone's trying to win the possession or turn it over. If they just go man on man, they're in with the contest.
Marshall to Higgins. Sells the dummy. Delivers inside 50. Owens caught at the back. Important grab. It's been an impressive opening term from Thompson Dow. His sixth touch coming up. And he swings it wide for Rioli.
Off half-back, Rioli picks off Coulthard. It was just a little too much in the end. Bauer comes off for a spell, and then Curvis will go back on.
We touched on St Kilda's brilliant ball movement. When you look across the stats line around contest, clearance, uncontested possession, obviously tackles that we've mentioned, that style of footy is built off them competing in those key areas, which they are doing a terrific job at.
Ross just hopeful with his delivery inside 50. Martin makes something of it. Dusty back to Dusty sort of work. Not quite able to finish off. Left upright.
Wanganeen-Milera waits the kick nicely for Sharman. And again, they've got that train running around the city side. Hill receives, draws a player. Next in line is Owens. Desperate effort from Graham. Owens inside 50, Soldo pushing back. Prestia. Bolter. Stabs it and finds Coulthard. Martin on the bounce, being pressured by Wood, pops it back to Dow, and now back to Martin. Could go down the line to Coulthard, sells the dummy, gives it to Dow. Tigers work it out, but no marking options forward.
Block. Richmond.
And it was a 2-on-1, and in the end, the Tigers will get the free kick for the block. Baker will have it within range. So for Richmond right now, it feels like it's a case of just hanging in and weathering the storm until they can get themselves sorted out. And a goal here against the flow of play would be critical for that. Liam Baker for his second. 48 metres out. It's tracking left. It's dropping short. It's still alive. Wilkie run down, just engulfed in a tackle by Nankervis.
And that's a statement from Nankervis there. That's the level that Richmond need to bring. His intensity, his physicality.
And your ruckmen are doing that, Jonesy. You're being inspired, watching on.
That's what they need. Every player on the ground has to be playing at that level of intensity.
Marshall, Wanganeen-Milera, Stockett, Sinclair. Out of harm's way for the moment. Might be coming back. Little sidestep from Ross. Grimes. Handball's inside. Bauer. Handball's forward. Comes unstuck. Cordy to Stocker. Easily enough to Mason Wood, and then Hill at speed. On the end of this, perhaps? No. Nathan Broad saw exactly what was happening. Stepped inside. Intercepts and then contemplates who is next in the chain. Happy to go to about 5 out from the goals. Not quite for Bauer. Bolton. Big tackle from Steele. Ball was dislodged. Prestia held up by Ross and Gresham and going nowhere. Let's have a look at the replay. Over the shoulder.
This is good footy for Richmond, though. They've had 6 of the last 8 inside 50s. It's been a bit of a lift of intensity.
Falcon off Graham from point-blank range. Taranto's rush kick floats to the pocket. Can Bauer get there to at least force a throw? And he can. So they've got the sustained pressure. Feels like they've got their feet underneath them in the contest, Jonesy. Now they need to make some moves on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. They just need to get some reward for effort here. They obviously had the ball locked in their forward half, which is a good sign.
Squared up the inside 50 count, as we just saw. After the Saints had the first 5 of the game. Steele to Webster, run down by Bolton. Rewalt's slick hands. Bauer brings it back into the corridor, but Marshall in best position, and again they'll just look to attack. The Saints will go for the jugular up the middle. Wanganeen-Milera off to the speedster Hill. He'll look forward. Another speedster is Higgins. He'll mark 55 from home. Membry will work hard to the pocket. Young's got to go with him. Well done, Tyler Young. Breaks it up under some pressure. Gets a Shepherd, and the Tigers can escape. Rioli to Young. Scrambling, hard-running defence from the Tigers to get back.
Grimes. Little one back to Rioli. They start to build here, Richmond, through the middle to Taranto. The runner who can kick a long way short. Measures the kick. Down the line to Bolton. Arms outstretched. Baker over his head towards Revolt, who flies! Over the top of Sinclair. Super grab. Still some spring in the old legs. So the number 12 for the Saints at one end has kicked a couple. Jack Revolt, an opportunity in Matty's match to bring it back to 17 points and get the Tigers second. Nominated for 31 marks of the round over his career, Jack Revolt. Only jumping Jeremy Howe has had more. 39.
Fair grab for the old boy. I liked it. And there's good signs all over the park for Richmond. And a lot of it comes back to the intent and the example that Big Man Curve has set.
Crouch, St.Kilda.
So Matty's match number 8. Number 8 is on the board for the Tigers. Ross. They're open through the front of the stoppage again here. Marshall on the bounce. Membry took it really well. Butler pokes it towards the pocket. Grimes tries to get a fist in. It'll spill for Rioli to scurry away. Needs someone to provide an option. Broad does that. Not the greatest to kick off the boot, but might work for Bolton. Look out! Clever from Baker. Ross tries a slap of his own, and it is quarter time at Marvel Stadium. Saints got a flyer. Richmond started to peg them back. And at the opening change in Matty's match number 8 at St Kilda 5 straight 30. Richmond 2-1-13.
Are you stuck in your own way? I'm begging.
A night of epic surprises.
Do you come from a land down under? Better run, better take cover.
voice tonight at 7.
Seth is an 11-year-old from Tasmania. He's a massive Saints fan. He had a healthy childhood before being diagnosed with severe aplastic anemia in late 2019. The same bone marrow failure syndrome that Maddie Rewald had. Seth's mother, Jess, reached out to Maddie Rewald's Vision for support in early 2020, and MRV's telehealth nurse has been supporting the family ever since. Seth received immunosuppressant therapy in 2020 and he responded well, but his blood counts have recently gone down, requiring additional monitoring by his medical team, and sets a great example of the difference that MRV is making to people's lives. To donate, text Maddie to 0400 662 662 or www.maddiesmatch.org.au. It's the Saints by 17 points at quarter time on Sunday football. Huge game for both teams as we head boundary side to Jono.
Thanks, Jace. As we digress from this game a little bit, that down in Launceston has been an upset. The Hawks have gotten over the Western Bulldogs by 3 points down there. So it's been a massive favour to these two teams here, as we know how tight the chase is for the top 8. That's a massive win for the Hawks, and, you know, it's just going to help them get better and better coming into next season. But certainly for these two teams, it's a result they both wanted to get. But if we focus back here on this game, we spoke about the tackling and how big of a difference that was, and it's 22-8 tackles at the moment in favour of St Kilda, 12 plus, and that's a part of the game where Richmond need to get better. But certainly what we spoke about leading into the game, that the St Kilda Footy Club, the way they move the ball at the half-back, both Jonesy and I knew that the best football can certainly match it with this Richmond Footy Club.
Thanks, CJ. First term in the book, second underway. Saints by 17-5 straight. Couple for Gresham, 2 for King, 1 for Filippo. Baker and Revolt, the scorers for the Tigers in terms of majors. And Curvis with strength. Puts it to space. Mason Wood back to Ross. Kick partially smothered. Continues to bounce forward. Broad. Wasn't clean. Gresham stole it. Rowan Marshall kicked it forward. Picked off by Flosstone in the end. Noah Bolter, big fly. Shea Bolton up over the top. Revolt in the first. Bolton in the second. Then starts to dash. McIntosh, Rioli gets himself out of trouble with a don't argue. Bolton had to be slightly quicker. Wasn't clean. Coulthard did well. Knocked it to Taranto. Puts it to about 20 out. Bauer, he's been doing lots of work. Hasn't been rewarded. Can go back and have a look at his first for the afternoon. He's been running all about. This will be his second in his AFL career straight. Always exciting to watch Shea Bolton. Mason Wood turned around. Oh, it's you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. So Jacob Bauer, a couple of kicks only in Sydney, went off for the hamstring. A goal last week, gets another. Well done, Jacob Bauer. Ross not pleased. Tigers have kicked the last 2. Revolt late in the first. Man on your screen, making it an 11-point game. Did get out to 24 after Filippo. Made it 5 straight.
It's just a modest hanger for his standard, I would think. But I love the fact that he just wants to take the game on. That gives you an idea of where Richmond's head's at. At every opportunity, just continuing to keep the ball in motion, take territory, keep it somewhat chaotic, and an opportunity is created.
We had a VFL Mark of the Year in 2018, an AFL Mark of the Year, Shea Bolton. What a highlights reel he's putting together in his career.
That was top 50 for him.
Windhager receives from Steele. Spoil from Grimes, then receives from Broad and runs straight into Hill.
On the ball. St Kilda. Thank you. Outside 5.
Hill goes towards Marshall. 3 to bid in the air. Young deft tap. Prestia. Taranto. Tidy to Revolt. Steps around King. Dow. Broad the run from behind. Bolton provides some creative run. Goes back with the flight. Couldn't control it. Wanganeen-Milera. Ross fashions a kick to Crouch. They come through the middle again through Gresham. Inside 50, Marshall. Wanted to give it over the top, or at least motioned that he wanted to give it over the top, but he's going to go back and take the shot.
Both teams really just taking advantage off half-back. Slingshot type footy. Being able to get a hand in and disrupt an offensive chain and then just go back the other way with as much speed and momentum as you can.
Able to just shake Nankervis. Only needed 5 metres. Toby couldn't get there. Rowan Marshall responds for the Saints. Margin back out to 17 points, early going second term.
This is the slingshot type footy there. Wanganeen-Milera intercepts that quick passage of play, and off the Saints go back through the corridor. And what you get by playing quick going back the other way is all of the defence scrambled and offside.
Taranto lost it in the air, still searching for it.
That bold sense of play that Ross spoke about in the pre-game, he'd be loving that with how quick the Saints are coming off half-back.
Bolton, plenty of attention.
Rowan, Toby.
Statistically, one guy who's having a huge impact is Rowan Marshall, up to 10 possessions as a ruckman, 5 of those, 5 tackles as well, and a goal.
A superb tap to Crouch. Gets the Saints moving again. King just went underneath it. Bolter wasn't clean. King on the end of the handball.
St.Kilda advantage.
Advantage taken. The goal, the result. Max has 3. Making the most of his opportunities. 3 kicks, 3 goals.
Got away with one there by the looks.
Oh, it was a nice little shovel out, but you take them, and King on the board for his 3rd. Looking ominous. We did touch on it in the pre-game that he felt like he was due for a big one.
So reminiscent of the opening term, St Kilda have had 5 of the first 6 inside 50s in this quarter. Broad receives from Martin, kicks towards half forward. McIntosh got a hand to it. Baker there in support. Bends it inside 50. Just a little high for Revolt. Sinclair tidies up. Takes territory. Pitches just inside the line. So marching out to a dangerous 23 points right now. Tigers, as they did in the first term, need to stabilise and respond. Marshall at the front against Nankervis. Well done, Filippo. Crouch, creative handball into space for Steele. Stabs it down the line. Great hands, Max King. Off balance, under pressure. Delivers towards the pocket. Hard lead from Membry. Well done. Tyler Young went with him, shoulder to shoulder.
Max, are you up?
What's really important in this stoppage, Crouch's hands there to release Steele quickly out the front, which from a forward's point of view, being able to quickly read those cues and come at the footy, that's perfect execution for the Saints from stoppage.
Taranto had it stolen in the end. Short goes to ground. So Saints, they won't be aware, I wouldn't have thought. Well, perhaps they are, of the Hawthorn result, but if you're a Saints fan, you're pretty pleased with what has happened in Tasmania. A win here, a little bit of breathing space. And what is a hot run towards the finals. McIntosh keen to get over the line, doesn't quite get there. Liam Baker, Dustin Martin help their mate to their feet. The Giants finishing off the round against Port Adelaide. We'll be watching on plenty of fans with results to follow to help their own. Sinclair wasn't quick and clean, but just shoveled it forward in the end. Dow wrapped up early by Owens, who's had a sensational year, Jonesy. Mitch Owens.
Absolutely, he has one of my favourite players to watch.
Gresham out the front of the stoppage again. Takes some territory, pitches in front of King.
Push from the back, Richmond. Play on.
Just such stress on the defence, as Jonesy said, when you can get those quick clearances straight out the front of the stoppage.
Out 5.
Graham receives and then gives back to Short. High down the wing. And then Curvis tries to get to the front of the drop short, well read by Broad. Done some important things. Feeds the handball on to keep things moving. Taranto stopped, turned, delivered to 50, but Wilkie's got front spot on Bauer. Laterally to Webster. Richmond look a little better set behind the ball here, Jonesy. No quick slingshot for the Saints on this occasion.
Yeah, exactly right.
But they still pick their way through with a beautiful kick, and now they can get it and go. Crouch towards the pocket. That is delightful ball movement. Really smart. They've broken down the zone. Richmond looked to be settled, and they found a way through.
Yeah, they were absolutely set. They had this terrific formation, but what I loved was Wilkie's patience just to find the target, and that's a disappointing thing for Richmond, not being able to see out that passage of play and lock St.Kilda in.
Really smart football from St Kilda. Really precise to just drop it into the holes. Max King for goal number 4.
Looking dangerous, Max King.
Getting some looks, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. 6-1 is best. He was looking for his 4th there with 13 minutes before the long break. Well, almost came unstuck in the end, Young. Handballs to McIntosh. Flostone. Got it put behind him. All pretty difficult in the end for the Tigers. Membry almost gives away a free kick to McIntosh. Andrew McQualter hoping to have his business card changed from interim to full-time. 10 coaches this century have gone from interim to senior coach. Paul Roos making the best of it with the Swans, becoming a premiership coach in doing so. Little chance over the top. Windhager to find Owens, couldn't quite. Taranto wanted Graham. Ricochets. Dow hurriedly on the left. Battle. Here's a call eventually. Didn't get rushed. In turn, Wanganeen-Milera was off and then caught. Jack Steele gets involved. Ball the call. Tigers will go forward.
Stand.
Jack Graham will get the free kick. Quick movement to Pickett, who takes it on the chest despite the pressure from Ross. Rioli, you can see bottom left of your screen, but Pickett will go more direct. Inside 50, Nankervis works the body, gets it to ground. Baker, Nankervis feeds it through. Taranto bends it back into the corridor. Charging through was Broad. Butler wrapped up. Graham and Broad take him to ground. 4-goal game. Midway through this second term. Soldo and Owens. Webster runs into Graham.
It's a good little patch for the Tigers here. You just sense the last few minutes, their intensity in the contest, their ability to lay tackles, string plays together. Some positive signs.
Reminiscent of the first quarter, isn't it? St Kilda get a fly. Richmond to start to steady things down. Now can they put it on the board? Not this time. Ross will just kick it to space for Sharman to chase.
Sharman and Flostone, the foot race is on. Flostone just pushes him away, gathers, spins, gets caught in the end. Thought he'd won the battle. Sharman kept himself involved, ends up with the football. Low ball into the pocket. Mason Wood in the end just out-positioned by Jaden Short. Mismatch with height. Short, though, wins the battle, goes to Flostone. Again, Dow goes to make heavy work of it.
On the ball.
Ross pings his man.
Build up. Turn up, please. Thank you. Stand.
Added plenty already, Seb Ross, to this Saints outfit.
Play on.
11th disposal coming up. Waits the ball. Hopes for King over the head of Young. Gresham got a couple in that opening term. Fights for it. Ball lodged under it. Packer players. Forward pocket for the Saints. Big lead of the afternoon, 24. It sits that again now after it got there after the Filippo goal late in that first term.
Oh, St.Kilda.
Cooper Sharman will get an opportunity.
Come back on, please. Stand. Yeah.
Game 28 this afternoon. One of these young, exciting forward prospects alongside Owens and Filippo. The future of this attack for St Kilda. Getting some games into these young players. And, of course, Max King still only 23 himself. Game 69 this afternoon. A lot of growing together as a group for this combination. Sharman, good finisher generally. And look at that. 24 goals, 9 in his career. Takes his opportunities. And the Saints are out to a 5-goal lead.
Free kick was there, just a little hold of the arm. Umpire and Rioli had a smile together. Look at this, the live ladder. So the Western Bulldogs have been beaten by Hawthorn. They started the weekend in 6th position. They sit at 8th. The Giants to play Port Adelaide to finish the round. The game of AFL Snakes and Ladders continues. And if you're a Saints fan, just tipping your hat to the Hawks.
And if the Tigers can find a way this afternoon, they'll only be half a game outside the 8. But they're 5 goals down at the moment.
Saints push forward again, only as far as Jaden Short. Clever from Ross towards Prestia. Threads the handball to Martin. Now to Ross. Deep ball. Chance for Soldo. Big fly coming in. Wanganeen-Milera. Bauer got collided with. Couldn't quite control it. Then Mitch Owens shoveled it to Crouch. He heard the call. Gave it off to Filippo. He in turn into the middle. Butler. Baker. Stole it. Baker. Ugly floating ball comes off the shin of Battle. Picked up by Ross. Soldo didn't have the speed to go. Windhager. Long one down the line. Last man to kick the goal was Sharman. Had it knocked away in the end by Flostone.
Chris Johnson, if you were Andrew McQualter and you could call a timeout right now, what would you be giving the message to the players?
Well, it'd be more around running and carrying the ball past the centre of the ground and trying to get it inside forward 50 and having shots across the paint. So Rioli looks like he's in a bit of trouble at ground level as well, guys. So we're going to have a hold up in play here, but I reckon that's the case. They're bombing it long and they're just not getting the one-on-ones they would have liked to. As we see Rioli, looks like he's just gone over onto an ankle that we know that he had a few weeks ago as well. So he's being carried off by the trainers now and they'll be assessed. So I'll keep you updated whether the sub will be activated.
Physio Anthony Shack there coming across. A couple of great long-time servants of the Richmond Football Club there on screen. Had a great medical staff for a very long time.
Just to add to Jono's point, from a score source point of view, and it's where Richmond need to try and tighten up. St Kilda have scored 5 of their 8 goals from turnover.
Just a rolling of the ankle there. Let's hope that's all it is. We'll hear more from Jono shortly. Take him down the race and assess it.
Holding Richmond.
So can the Tigers get something started here?
Toby, move out, Brad. 1 metre.
5 goals down. Midway through the second term. Nankervis thought about the gift to Broad. That was covered. Kicks it to a host of Saints.
And Jonesy, it's that long kick again. If it's going to half forward, sometimes they're going in the 50 where they're not generating one-on-one contests. I think Richmond to get that score of dominance or actually be able to get a score on the scoreboard at the moment. So if they can start to isolate their forwards a little bit and get it in one-on-one scenarios, I think they're going to be more of an opportunity.
Genuine shank from Windhager. Owens, spoil, Prestia. Graham couldn't take it cleanly. Crouch arriving quickly was Pickett.
Contact.
High on Seb Ross. 13th touch for him coming up. Has not missed a beat in his first game after 4 weeks out with a hamstring. Stocker into the middle. Creative kick. Owens thought about the give to Hill. Will go straight up the middle. Floating kick will pitch short. Too short. And he gives it to Taranto. Back to Jaden Short.
Short to the outer side. Coulthard. What a terrific story. Mid-season pickup. Said I was struggling to get a game in the SNFL 6 months ago. Now playing for the Tigers. Bauer, very similar story, making the most of his opportunities. Little give to McIntosh. Runs the line, darting ball, no good. Sinclair intercepts, gets the Saints moving. Just the 15 to Hill. He in turn over the top. Wanganeen-Milera. Heard the call from Crouch. He in turn, Windhager thumps the ball long. Little chance. Higgins will get the free kick. Bolter, very agricultural. Not too much malice, I don't think. Just clumsy. So Higgins to make it a 6-goal game. Hasn't troubled the scorer so far this afternoon. Disposal number 6 coming up. Always left. Snuck through for a minor score, just.
Short on the bounce to Balta. Got a few boos from the St Kilda fans. Baker looks to engage the bigger man, Cordy. Again, it's numbers at the back here for the Saints. Ross, Wanganeen-Milera. Aggressive kick, might be punished. McIntosh, he's got Graham working hard out to the flank. Martin calling for it in the middle. He'll go shorter to Prestia. And he'll head up Dow, 65 from goal. Jack Revolt, a half lead. Now sits it up for Bauer to arrive, but he's a step too late. And Cordy takes the grab. Wanganeen-Milera. Awkward one for Marshall, he does well. 11th touch for Rowan Marshall coming up. Needed to be precise with the kick. It's okay for Ross. Again, they just managed to find holes in this zone. Stocker flips it over the top. Crouch, Gresham, Dow went with him to try and force the pressure. Did well. Broad, McIntosh, awkward one for Flostone. Sinclair arrives. He paddles towards Martin. Steele involved. Dow, Flostone through the middle. Can hit up Revolt. He'll have a runner to the outside. It's Coulthard. Wants the 50. Coulthard calling for it, moment lost. He'll go shorter than that. Martin, will he wind up from 52? Spears it low, flat. And this is...
It really is where the game's being won and lost right now. The team's ability to be able to defend the slingshot. St Kilda just doing a far better job at it. On the turnover.
Perfect to Cordy. Sharman. Inside. Higgins to the running Ross. Big return. Owens. A little bit of a shimmy. Got around Tyler. Young, and then the long ball towards Max King. He's going to get the free kick and kick his fourth.
And there is another example of St Kilda's ability to be able to go end to end, get the ball in transition, the ball moving with flow, as we see here. Pretty soft free kick for mine. The umpire probably sees the wrap of the arm.
If he can kick this goal, it'll be his equal PB against the Tigers. 6 is best in his career, and he's well on the way. Max has 4. The Saints lead by 6 goals. Jones, I reckon when Dylan Grimes just took his eye off it, that's when the umpire says, well, contact plus no vision. If he somehow kept an eye on it, they'd probably let it go. It's always tough for the defenders.
Absolutely, particularly one-on-one in that scenario. I didn't feel like he impeded him too much, but
Jones, that was a complete breakdown of the Richmond zone on that occasion. There were overlap plays everywhere for the Saints.
Yeah, that's the biggest concern for mine in the game, is Richmond's ability to be able to defend the turnover. On the other side of the coin is St Kilda's ball movement and their boldness with how they're moving it off half-back is ultra impressive.
Crouch gets there first, slaps in the Wood direction, spins out of one tackle, flips a handball to Steele. Now Sinclair, he'll spread it. Saints using the space beautifully this afternoon. Sharman cut off by Flostone. So here's a high turnover for the Tigers. Can they do something back the other way? Opportunity now for Coulthard. He'll look inside 50. Revolt's got some space. Wood will get across. Jack will come over the top. Well done, Wood. Did enough to allow Wilkie to get it to Hill. Butler, just his 4th touch. But again, they're out and running with options forward of the football. This time it's Owens. Young will have to stick to the task. Owens will look to go off the ground. Higgins. Opportunity lost, and somehow the Tigers may escape here. McIntosh to Short.
Higgins' left foot couldn't keep up with his mind. He knew what he wanted to do. He just wasn't able to execute it. The Tigers to Prestia, suddenly looking dangerous. Overlap is on over the top. Dustin Martin marks in front of Stocker, and if he wants to, Baker's at the top of the square. Might get called out of it. Nankervis does, provides the shelter, and Baker should kick another for the Tigers in his 2nd. Man that can play wherever his coach sends him and play there well. Ooh, sneaks it through. Baker's got a couple. Back to 5 goals.
This was a really positive passage of play for the Tigers. Their ability to create a score off a turnover from half-back. They're going at 38%, being able to take the footy from end to end today, which is a stark improvement in that area of the game compared to the last three weeks.
And Curvis with the block, and then the tap, and now Dow runs onto it. Good moments here for the Tigers. Ross runs to 45, sizes up the goal. And misses left. Ross Lyon watching on. Lead sits at 29 points. They led Carlton by 22 at the half last week. Stocker receives the short one from Sinclair.
You'd love to just listen in to Ross over 2 hours of football. The quips. Little one-liners, the observations.
The dump button.
Yeah, the dump button. Chance now to go off the ground. Mason Wood ran into Flostone instead. Owens, brave and bold, and just works his way through. Crouch to Butler. Bolter tried to get the tackle on. It's going to work out okay. Gresham, who kicked the first 2 of the afternoon, can kick his 3rd.
Geez, that was quality play. Mitch Owens starting that chain on centre wing here. Look at the speed at which he attacks that footy, draws a free. And then I love the way they thought through this. Run and draw using the outnumber. That's a beautiful finish. Inside 50 from Butler to create this opportunity for Gresham.
Owens is so much fun to watch. Still just 19, doing so much in the Saints jumper. Gresham has 3. Saints have 10. Back to a 35-point lead.
Been a hopeless task for Richmond's defenders in this first half, with the numbers just streaming forward for the Saints. Gresham on the end of 3 now.
Do you think Mitch Owens could pinch the rising star?
He's had quite a year, hasn't he?
If I'm voting, he's
20th game.
There's a lot of talent, but geez, he's special.
Averages 15 possessions, 4 marks, and he's kicked 23-15.
Get in danger, St.Kilda.
Steele has a margin now at 35 points with 1:15 to play until half-time. Steele right up the middle. Well done, Young over the top. Gresham hunting it on the ground against Prestia, who wins the football. Spears towards Jack Revolt, just over his head. Baker puts body contact on Wilkie. The Saints have the numbers. Stocker towards Hill. McIntosh slaps towards the line and out. Chris Johnson, premiership defender with Brisbane. At times it must be a sinking feeling for the Tigers in this first half. Their defence with the numbers streaming forward for the Saints.
It is, Jace. It's really difficult at the moment for the defence of Richmond, because the number of times that the ball's moving fast and quick through the corridor inside their defensive 50, it's certainly hard to defend.
Down. Steps Filippo, Gabe, to Martin. On the bounce to Revolt. Somehow got it to Bolton from 45 for the finish. Gets one back for the Tigers. All class, Shea Bolton. Richmond just hanging in. They've been thoroughly outplayed in the first half. Margin at 29 points. Still a half to chase that down, of course. Need to get something started in the third term.
Jones, you've just been looking at Mitch Owens and talking to those that know. If he's not on the podium in the NAB Rising Star, it'll be surprising. Sheasel has been outstanding. Will Ashcroft, thoughts with him? Ripping young man, and Mitch Owens, the 3 fancied Rising Star winners. Tigers again, perhaps something very late in this first half to narrow the gap again. 29 points in arrears as Dusty tries to dusty himself out of trouble. But Liam Stocker stops one of the best and goes down the line. Owens just pushed out of it. Tyler Young wins the battle. Time will beat the Tigers, but at half-time, the Saints in great shape.
Some respect. When you talk about courage, though, you think about that man, Trent Cotchin.
Yeah.
He won't be part of the finals this year in his last year unless Richmond get a move on. This is it for the Tigers, Stern. They have to win. You look at the ladder, this is it, this half of football.
It's all or nothing now, the next 60 minutes of footy. Jack Graham's got to get the footy. Jaden Short's got to get some more footy. Dusty's had 16. Push him deep forward as the game wears on. And Shea Bolton, give us more than 10 possessions in a half.
So from a Saints perspective, more of the same, please.
More of the same as we head back to Marvel Stadium. St Kilda and the Tigers.
Nankervis and Marshall in the ruck. Presti's handball intercepted by Steele. Inside 50 for the first time in the third term. Owens taps to Gresham. Prestia tries to cut it off. Membry couldn't control it. Broad, was he taken high? Umpire said play on. It spills out. Hill to the voice of Crouch. Smothered off his boot by Prestia. Punched away by Bolton. Wanganeen-Milera gets rid of Rioli. Wood onto his favoured left. High towards the pocket. Grimes, I think it was a Falcon. Crouch. Gresham. Inside King. And Max King a chance to go back and kick goal number 5. Early in the third term, as we've mentioned, his personal best is 6. Here's a look at that free kick that wasn't paid. Jonesy, your thoughts?
Oh, it was there for mine. I would have paid it, irrespective of him sort of drawing it. He went high and got him high.
For goal number 5 and the perfect start to the third term. His kicking has been on this afternoon. Margin out 5 points. Max King with 5 goals. Opening minutes of the third term. Seven touches, 5 goals, 1. It's been a day of impact for Max King.
Oh, well, there was just this sense that he was due for one.
Yeah,
and
you called it early.
He... Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's threaded the eye of the needle there, Gresham, to find King, and we were touching on it before, but from the minute he took that first mark and drilled it from 50, he's looked likely, and that's his 5th.
Best result for the year. His best in his career is 6-1, and you would think that he'll sail past that this afternoon. Baker, he's been dangerous in front of goals. Rioli to Prestia. Prestia heard the call from Bolton. Very wayward indeed. No score at all. So back to Max King, Jonesy. Nearest the pin. What do you think he ends up with today?
8.
Yes. And that's feels about right. 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Stocker. Wanganeen-Milera provides such creativity and run off half-back. He'll come flying past again and receive from Steele. Just glides across the turf. Creative handball. It was ambitious. Stocker made it work. Here's King again. Membry in at the front. Hard landing somehow. Bobs to his feet. Higgins will bounce it goalwards. Heads right instead of left. Throw in the result. Wanganeen-Milera just cruising around the half-back line.
I love the fend from Stocker in the middle. Just the intent. You can see the mentality from the Saints that it's almost just no pressure. Just take the game on. Be bold. Be brave. Mistakes will happen, but they're getting reward for it.
Just thinking about Jack Higgins. No one played more football at Richmond throughout their dominant period without winning a flag. He was the unlucky one, really. Nankervis, Pickett, Taranto, Prestia, Baker. Floating ball towards the wing. Bauer didn't go so well in the air, then off the ground towards Rioli. Rioli and Hill do battle. Rioli with speed gets through a couple of Saints, then bust past the row and Marshall tackle. Martin backs himself, gets past Josh battle, ball inside 50, ricochets back out, Prestia. Bump ball for Taranto, off the side of the boot, not clean. Windhager heard the call, Sinclair was there, Wanganeen-Milera has a look as Ross tries to shovel it. Now it's Seb Ross. And Sinclair goes to the outer side, Hill with Revolt, Pickett. Thought about the handball, then the sidestep, again, not clean at all, and the Saints intercept. They give it back to the Tigers through Bolter.
He drills it inside 50 over the head of Martin. Sinclair, nice half volley. Stocker had to be quick, feeds it through to Mason Wood. Showed a bit of it to Nankervis, but it works okay for Gresham. He'll just kick it out to space. Membry's going to have to work hard to force a contest here. He arrives a step too late. Well done, Grimes. Short. High kick to 50. Doesn't really suit Bauer. Revolt will arrive late, and Wilkie, with the greatest of ease, just takes it off the hands of the pack, delivers it to Higgins. Steele. Here's the run from behind again. This time it's Windhager. He'll go to Owens. Max King tracking back towards the square. He'll take the shorter option. Marshall on the bounce. Uses Gresham. Has Crouch to 52. Looks for an option. They'll go to the pocket. Hill, can he turn Pickett around? Marlon does enough to get it to ground. 2-on-1 contest. Broad happy to take it to the line. Scrambling defence from the Tigers.
Such a high-intensity game when you play it like this. Up and back. All turnover, all fast. See some of the players hands on knees out there already.
The mismatch is on. Owens weaves his way through traffic and then out of bounds on the foot.
Here's what lays ahead for Noah Bolter. So he'll just thump it as long and high as he can. Good, strong, contested grab from Cordy. With only one boot. Still manages to get enough purchase to get it inside 50. Higgins almost. Flostone arrived just in time. Gresham's kick towards the top of the square. Bolter will take it on the chest. The way he comes, needs someone to provide an option. Baker's the only hope. He's surrounded by three. And Wanganeen-Milera just comes floating over the top. Another impressive youngster, just his 38th game, the 20-year-old.
He gets better and better every time I see him. Love watching him.
Player and a half, isn't he? Not a great kick on this occasion. Awkward for Taranto, though. He'll arrive to put pressure on. McIntosh just wanted to bust through Filippo. Tries to get a handball away. Stocker there, wrapped up by Martin.
You know, one player who I really admire watching today in particular is Bradley Hill. You talk so much about his ball movement and decision-making and running, but today it's his defensive efforts, getting a hand in, laying a tackle, winning and halving 2-on-1 contests over the far side.
Gresham, and then Butler.
Straight up, please.
Saints hunting in numbers.
Straight up.
And there was just nowhere for Jaden Short to go.
Play on.
He went long and took that step, so he had the prior. Butler towards Max King. He's caught back. Flostone, as he's done so often for the Tigers, saves the day, slows things down, moves it on, gives it to Noah Bolter. Been on the back foot for much of the afternoon. First two to the Saints. 5 of the first 6. Dow. Wide. Flostone again. Down the line, Bauer, who's been lively in the air. Play on the call. Can't get rid of the ball by hand. Wrapped up by Zane Cordy. Walking out soundly. Brad Hill. Knee heavily strapped. Meanwhile, Filippo can drive the ball deep for the Saints. Chooses the short option in Jack Sinclair. Now to Mason Wood. So the Saints just forward of centre on the outer side. Filippo. Good chance for Membry. Ground level. Can he pick it up cleanly? Can. Gresham. Knew that Marshall was on. Just couldn't get the quick, clean handball away. Windhager. Strong body. Quick turn. Fabulous shot. Just wide. Minor only. Deserved better.
You get a sense the Saints are tightening the screws defensively. They've started terrifically this quarter. Pressure's been immense.
Ball to the Broad. Now Pickett. Draws a man, pops it to Flostone. Can he get it over the top of Cordy? He can't. And then Cordy does well. really well because he brings it inside to Ross. Saints lining up on the broadcast side. Sharman will be first. You can see Marshall's going to try and run Nankervis deep. Sharman will go inside 50, but plenty of Tigers on that side of the ground. And Flostone saves the day again. Switches to short. Richmond having to do everything in their back half right now. And when they do turn it over, they're under enormous pressure. Another one potentially here. Well scrapped by McIntosh against Stocker. Rioli, uncertain of his option. Back to McIntosh, who just spirals it down the line. Punched away by Cordy. Cleaned up by Marshall. Filippo quick hands. Ross towards half forward. Short, lunges, gets a hand on it. Doesn't quite get it out. Sharman keeps it alive. Inside, Butler will want his right boot. Brings it to the top of the square. Could have gone himself, potentially. Membry lays a tackle. And they'll get a ball up at the top of the square.
Hit the ground. Up again. Next him.
They're just setting up so well behind the football, St Kilda. They're just rebounding the ball out of their back half quite easily.
Soldo, bigger body, does it easily enough against Membry. Short. Here you go, CJ again, the Saints. Stopping the exit. Stocker, Major League style, sort of points to the goal.
Saw him pre-game from this exact spot, Hamish, and he sailed it through from 53.
King went down in the goal square. Saints fans wanted the free kick. Meanwhile, Liam Stocker trying to kick his first for the year. Distance.
All clear.
Okay, accuracy, an issue. Didn't hit it well at all, but still got the journey.
Ross into the path of McIntosh, who hunts it down, and then a slight fumble. Pressure comes from Gresham. Baker at the front. Doesn't complete it, but has some support. Taranto. Awkward one in the end. Probably the best possible result, given Nankervis was outnumbered. They've really tried to work Toby Nankervis over aerobically today, Jonesy. Rowan Marshall's worked him up and down the ground. He's had to cover a lot of territory. Soldo. Graham. Nice pick up, Baker. Can he hit a target? He can. Bauer playing in front. It's been a bit of a frustrating day for Jacob Bauer. Often outnumbered. Not a lot of space to work in, but he's got one here, 30 out directly in front.
Jonesy, Jacob Bauer's only had the 5 disposals, but you feel like he's been involved in a lot of play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just, he's finding himself in really good spots.
Yep.
It's just capitalising on those opportunities when they come in.
It's the same as Membry at the other end, who's only had 8 touches, but feels like he's done more. Bauer for his second goal. Sneaks it inside the post. Two goals for Jacob Bauer. Tigers get it back to 31 points midway through this third term. Jack Revolt yet to make a decision on his future in 2024. Tom Lynch will return. Jacob Bauer, another important piece of that Richmond attack in the years going forward.
Does have a really beautiful kicking style. That is for his second. He is finding himself in a lot of good positions. Get a little bit more speed and fluency with Richmond's ball movement.
Bauer debuted against the Swans, just a couple of kicks, had the hamstring go. Goal last week, his first 2 this afternoon, maybe more coming. Liam Baker. He's looked lively this afternoon, sets up the runner. Thompson Dow can have a look from about 45 when he kicks it, at about 45 degrees. One goal next to his name from his 14 games coming in. Grew up in Swan Hill, hasn't kicked the goal for a while, nothing this year. Only played once before this afternoon. That never. looking likely.
Similar narrative to his brother Paddy. He's been in the VFL all year, playing really good football, not getting opportunities. Has won this afternoon. He's had 17 touches.
Paddy last night, JB, outstanding.
Yeah, he was. I was a big fan.
Thumping kick from Stocker and out.
Big fan. I've seen him a couple of weeks in a row now, and
Paddy, you're talking about, Jonesy?
Yeah, Paddy Dow, and even Thompson again, right? You just, it's all about opportunity, and you get consistency and exposure at the level regularly. Generally, if you've got an element of talent, which majority of players obviously do, or else you wouldn't be at this level.
Thompson Dow averaging 23 touches, 6 clearances a game in his 12 VFL games this season. Finally getting a look and making a fist of it this afternoon as Filippo got the free kick. Again, they go into the corridor. Wanganeen-Milera thought about the handball to Ross, but saw he was covered by Bolton. We'll go short to Battle. Just been able to pick holes in the Richmond zone. When it looks like the Tigers are set, they've found a way through, sometimes with alarming ease. Stocker hoists this one high. King will get a run at it.
Holding the arm, Max King.
And a free kick. And a look at goal number 6.
And just to finish on Paddy Dow, Jonesy, he was going to be subbed out last week against the Saints. Kicked the goal, they kept him on. And last night, phenomenal. It's funny how little moments can change things for you.
There's the push against Noel Bolter.
Umpire's call was holding the arm, and you can see him just impede getting that right arm up.
To equal his career best of 6 goals, Max King. Six for Max, and it's a 6-goal game. Two in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 in the third for Max King.
Such an easy motion when you watch Max King kick it goal. Remember Ernie Els was the big easy? Max King's sort of similar.
He's absolutely on today. Does not look like missing. That's 6-1. And the chase is on for 8+, hey?
6-1, as JB said, equals his career PB. More in store, perhaps. Rowan Marshall, little give, found Owens. He knew that Crouch was there. In turn, saw Sinclair early. Wanganeen-Milera, only just a 15, but no mark completed anyway. Mason Wood gets into his move, spins. Owens again on the end of it. Deep ball. Filippo might get it out the back. Just taps it to himself onto his left. A long wait for King. He shuffles into position. Held by Tyler Young. Frostone gets a fist into it. Umpire says, throw it in. Fans with a different view on things. And Curvis gets to the fall of the ball. Again, has the size advantage against Membry. Thought about the handball. Membry brings him to ground. Umpire will throw it up. And Curvis, Saints fans thought in the back of Membry, not doing. McIntosh hurriedly. Front spot, Marshall. And the kick finds Sinclair. He and Sharman worked it out late. Sinclair happy to change lanes, going to the middle. Battle onto the chest of the man who likes to kick a goal. And Mitch Owens, 23-15 coming into the afternoon.
That really was textbook play. Just with the way Marshall was set up, they had Wilkie further back as another defensive mechanism. The intercept mark, and they quickly pull the trigger into the corridor. Find Owens open on the open side.
On at a goal a game all his career. 26 matches, 26 goals coming into the afternoon. Saints fans to their feet. Game-high lead now. And the Saints seemingly doing it as they please. 3 of the last 4 in this term. And 5-3 in the second term. 7-goal game looks ugly.
So Rowan Marshall there intercepts that ball. He's sitting out of that forward stoppage where the ball came from. Quickly shifting the ball into the corridor. He found Sinclair, who changed the angle again out to the open side. You can see all of the Richmond defence there flooding back. St Kilda's composure to find that inside kick.
Ross out of the middle. Well done, Young, and that'll be 50.
50 metres. Up to John.
Saints players reacted quicker than the whistle.
Climb back on. Stand.
Young hadn't stepped off the mark, which he does now. Spreads it wide, looking for Graham. Nicely done by Sharman. Got it to ground. Gathered, goes towards Hill. Tries to work Broad off it. Interesting matchup again. Hill turns, well done, Broad. Got a hand in there. Prestia now, confronted by Crouch. Gives it to Graham. Broad, Grimes, draws a man. Butler pops it over the top.
Richmond.
And McIntosh can play the advantage. Through the middle of the ground, spreads it wide. Coulthard goes up and marks, 45 out. Daniel Rioli points goalward. He gives it off to Bauer, who winds up. Tries to work it back. Wilkie. And the mark will be paid.
That's a 9.
7-goal game with just under 5 minutes remaining in the third. The Saints with a really tough run home. A critical 4 points to bank this afternoon.
Cordy doesn't strike it cleanly, falls a little short. Soldo, the flowing locks, looks about. Now to Flostone. In the end, up to Jack Steele to stop the flow.
High tackle.
Broad from just outside 50. We'll think about moving it on, but looks half keen to send it long. Little give. Short. A couple of Saints were ready for Jaden's run. Might come unstuck here. In the end, Cordy takes the defensive mark. And over the top. Wanganeen-Milera. Little run from Sinclair, as he's done all year. Gets the Saints rolling. Mason Wood didn't have to break stride. Steps inside. Gets around Bauer. Drills the ball long. Couple of Saints line up. Higgins plays for the free. Memory knocked it down. Butler tried to get the handball away. Couldn't.
Let's head boundary side to Jono.
Thanks, Joseph. It looks like it's a tactical sub made by Richmond with Mansell coming on and Soldo coming off. So going a small for a tall.
Trying to change that mix. Get some extra run. Saints with numbers behind the ball, and Battle wrestles it away from Mason Wood. Inside to Filippo. Prestia arrived and infringed.
St.Kilda. Push down, mate.
Filippo hands it off. Battle winds up from 55. Low and flat. Pickett flips it on for a minor score.
Broad to short. Short, just the 15. McIntosh to Grimes. Dylan Grimes not certain. And then pinpoint to Broad. Just picking their way through. Broad to Thompson-Dow. Broad again involved. Now Grimes with a bit of run. Defensive side of the circles. They've been precise. Baker needs to find a target inside 50. Pressure just on the arc. Players continue to present. Noah Bolter wants the handle on the run. Membry knows exactly what he wants and stops that option.
2 minutes. That way, go with him, don't come there.
Umpire Gorman giving plenty of instruction. Meanwhile, Prestia grabs a metre or two, gives it everything he's got. It'll just fall a little short, but Reebok might have marked right on the line.
Yeah, we're going to check it out.
Huge defender taking the forward line.
Score review. Umpire's call is a mark. We just checked that it was marked before the line.
Review underway.
It's a mark. Hey, Jack.
Hard to know whose hands are where in all of that. If they're both Jack's, that's a mark, isn't it?
That's a mark. Yeah.
Controls it all the way.
Yep. I'm paying that.
It's certainly not over the line when you look at the padding on the post. Always inside field of play.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is controlled before crossing the back of the scoreline. Decision on scoreboard.
So Jack will be having a look at his second.
Don't go forward. Hold. This is the line. Stay there, Dion. Stay.
Third kick of the afternoon. Hits the timber. Over the journey, he hasn't missed too many of those.
Sinclair to Webster. Marching at an even 7 goals now with a minute to play in the third. Ross, the short option.
Stand.
Now Wanganeen-Milera, not 15, so Ross accelerates past Graham. Handball into the path of Sinclair, but out in front of him. Rioli put the pressure on. Webster almost got through. He does now. Wood. And they work their way through the Richmond numbers again. Steele, Sinclair, tidy to Owens. 55 from home.
Move out.
He'll square it up. Good effort, Baker. Couldn't quite get there. Ross. And they just almost toy with the Richmond zone and get it to Steele in a position where he can look at goal.
That's been the difference in play all day. Their ability just to be able to pick their way through. They look like they got themselves into trouble, into a trap down here. Rioli was putting on immense pressure, but then, to St Kilda's credit, being able to just think their way through it, use the outnumber. They've been terrific in that phase of the game all day.
They led by 17 at quarter time, 29 at the half. This for an 8-goal lead. Just misses left. 3-1 in the third term, and the Saints in control. They lead by 43 points as we turn for home at Marvel Stadium. St Kilda 13-6-84. Richmond 6-5-41.
Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Express release. Available now in Foxtel Store.
These are tough times. We're losing money and we're losing guys.
Your sister.
Debate or watch on demand.
The stage is set. Listen to the applause for Heaney. And a sound.
Is friendship the secret ingredient to win MKR?
It's love.
At first bite.
All new MKR on 7 and 7+.
Waiting for you, always patient for
3/4 time at Marvel Stadium. High stakes for both teams. The Tigers fighting to try and keep in touch and keep their hopes alive. St Kilda looking to solidify their place in the top 8 and move a step closer to September. And at 3/4 time, they are in control right now. They lead by 43 points. 17 at quarter time, 23 at the half. And then 5 3 goals to 1 in that third term, and they've extended it out to 43 points as Andrew McQualter addresses his troops. What's he saying right now, Jonesy?
I think he's just asking for just a little bit more if they can sort of find something, whether that's in the contest, whether that's on defence. Really, they've just sort of been half a step off all day. St Kilda's ability to be able to pick their way through the defence has been something that we've continued to talk about. And really, that's been the difference, just half a step off. But you've got to generate pressure, generate intensity around the source, at stoppage, at the contest. You know, you want to get territory, you want to own the ball in your front half, and Richmond just haven't been able to do that often enough for long enough today.
Chris Johnson, looks like the Saints have activated their sub.
Yeah, they certainly have. So Cooper Sharman is taken the back seat, and I think it's more tactical than anything else, and Hunter Clark has taken his position on the field.
Final term at Marvel Stadium.
It's the Saints leading it by 43 points. Trying to chalk up win 12 for the season. Bolton, well held in the end by a steal. Hunter Clark involved early against Taranto.
On. Thank you, Kobe.
Hunter arrived with plenty of bandage around that left knee of his. Knocked down by Marshall, bounced back into his hands, couldn't believe his luck, then sends the ball forward. Membry to ground, Higgins saw steal. Now Mason Wood fakes the handball back to his right, eases it forward. Jack Higgins on the end of it. So Higgins for the afternoon, just the 1 minus score. Spoke earlier about Higgins playing 43 games at the Tigers, the most by anyone in their 3 premiership run that didn't play in a premiership himself. Hoping to do it as a Saint. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. It is good. Jack's got his first.
Somewhat muted celebration from Jack Higgins against his old team. Maybe a bit of respect in that.
Every time I watch him and I see the scar, it is remarkable that he had such significant surgery on the brain. He's still able to come out and compete so bravely and do it week after week. It's a great story.
Just here, Thompson Dow has to put body on Mason Wood. He got mesmerised by the footy rather than track his hips. Allowed him the time and space to step around and find an easy target inside 50. That's what I'm talking about, the lift in Richmond. They have to get body on, have to create pressure.
Away comes Hunter Clark, inside 50. And Membry might get some reward for all his hard effort. We've spoken about his game. He's had 8 touches, but he's been much, much better than that, done so much hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been finding himself in the right spot again. It's just an element of, you know, getting game time under your belt and building some consistency and some confidence in yourself, and hopefully here for his sake, for all Saints fans' sake, that he goes back and kicks the goal, because he's only going to continue to grow from finding himself back in the side and finding his groove again.
Had an issue in the pre-season, played 4 AFL games and has been out with a knee since round 9. Tugs that one left. The Membry-King combination. It's a dynamic one when you throw in Sharman and Philippou and Owens. The future looks bright.
Starting to look dangerous forward of centre. Short. Broad. Back to Jaden Short, who continues to run. To the wing at Sales. Revolt. Changed jumpers. Had the 3-quarter rolled up job early on now. Rioli. Ross sees Revolt. It'll bounce. How does it sit for him? Wilkie just overcommitted a little. Revolt floats the ball towards half forward. Lots of yellow jumpers pressed you. We know from that third term he struggles from outside the arc. Tried to sneak 6 or 7 metres, still fell short. Flostone again happy to make the big switch. This one will come unstuck. For how long? Short picks up on the loose ball, outruns Membry. Short now, normally brilliant by foot, finds Thompson Dow At a sighter in the third term. Happy to give this one off. Tim Taranto on the end of it. Taranto, monumental season, averaged 30. He's kicked 18-12. His first year as a Tiger. Always thought he was going to be a one-club player. That all changed late last year. In discussions by all those who know that he will be the top handful in the Brownlow count. Can he kick a goal here for the Tigers? It looks good, doesn't deviate, straight through the middle. His first. Tigers get their 7th. 44 the margin.
Lynch alongside Ben Miller. A Lynch pin, if you pardon the pun, actually don't, it was terrible. Of their forward line going forward, and there is Jacob Hopper. And Gale at the front of screen, but Lynch and Bauer and maybe Jack Revolt to go around again makes for an interesting discussion. Feels like they kind of need him. Graham bounces it in the Bolton direction. Taranto, Martin. Nice pick up for Lostone. Graham, Richmond player down. Is Bolton slow to get up? He's on his feet now, just stretching out. Nankervis to the pocket. Webster against Mansell. Cordy tries to take him to the line. Webster, Windhager. Crouch looks inside. Webster to the outside. Windhager high towards the wing. Memory in front. Bolton into a kind of jog, almost a limp. Grimes, can he get across? He can in front of Max King and gets it to the line. There is Shea Bolton. Just stretching out, you can see there, just pulling up. Sore.
Oh, he slipped a little in the middle there. Wet yesterday. Roof at times is open, and that, even if they have it partially open, gets plenty of rain. Gresham, dangerous in that opening term, sails it forward, bouncing ball well controlled in the end. The ball just goes back through Tyler Young's kick, floats, and the Tigers raffle it around. Bolton runs effortlessly. No one ever seems to be able to make ground. His kick, though, comes unstuck, intercepted by Battle. He in turn to sink there. Back to Battle it goes. Load taken cleanly by Bradley Hill. Moves it on over the top to Stocker. Stocker to the running Wilkie. Game 106 without miss since coming over from South Australia. Hunter Clark, the sub, gets it back after the half volley taken well by Rowan Marshall. 2 kicks that weren't ideal in the end. Back to Mason Wood. Where's King? Going to sit underneath it and wrestle with Young. Graham will get there first. Kick creates the one-on-one. Cordy might just get an opportunity to pick it up and gather. No. Rolls over at half forward for the Saints. Cordy gets a round of applause.
Cross line looking comfortable. Wanted a 4-quarter performance. So far he's getting it. Nankervis just runs straight into Crouch. Down. Short. Shows it. Weaves through traffic. Was touched off his boot. Bolton tracking one way. Mansell the other. Solid collision there with Steele. St.Kilda fans express their delight. Jack Steele, 15 touches this afternoon. Crouch has had 17. They've spread the load this afternoon, St.Kilda. Sinclair leading the way with 27 and Ross 22. It's been a fine return, and there's Steele.
Cordy doing the ruck work. Short trying to escape.
Straight up. Stand up. Forward. Let's get on with it. You tried. Here now. You.
Dustin Martin tumbles the ball forward. Again, it's all Saints at halfback. So Stocker puts it in front of Wilkie. His kick comes off the inside of the boot, but settles for Mason Wood. Dances about, in no rush. Happy to go back into the middle again to Stocker. He goes on quickly to Sinclair. Sinclair in turn to Membry. Max King ignored as he presented Crouch. Goes searching. Easily enough for Jack Steele. Mason Wood called for it. He was rolling around onto his left. Now Steele into the pocket. Bouncing ball for Cordy to deal with. Dragged over in the end by Short.
Nathan Jones, I saw you shaking your head in that build-up.
Oh, it's just the ease at which the Saints are able to move and then take the ball off the line. You know, 25, 30-metre kicks on the 45 really shouldn't occur. You know, defensively, it's been, I think it would be a disappointment for Richmond, the ease at which St Kilda's been able to move the footy end-to-end today.
Crouch just tries to muscle his way through. Jack Ross high towards the wing. Revolt tries to get to the front on Cordy. Spoils into the corridor. Sinclair's got to stand and wait. Baker all over him. Martin tries to get past Stocker. Bolton, a step, evades the tackler, swings it wide. Ross has got Revolt, or he can go further towards Mansell, but Wanganeen-Milera. Wood, handball a little fierce. Bolton tries to keep it alive, attacks the goal face. Wilkie tracks back and watches it miss right.
Wanganeen-Milera keen to play on quickly. Sinclair, as always, so creative from halfback to the skipper, to Wilkie. In no rush, no pressure coming at him, so just ambles on that outer side. Presenting his Owens, taken to ground. Dylan Grimes will be marched back 3 or 4 strides. Owens uses Sinclair again. Grimes desperate on the tackle. Kick affected a little, but the bounce favours Crouch. Didn't take it cleanly. Flostone hit high. Handball untidy for Short. Bounce okay in the end. Trying to corral Windhager. The kick finds Pickett. Sweeps the handball over the top to Jaden Short. Now inside 50, just onto the chest of Mansell. Little chance for Bolter. Ball brought to ground. First man there, Jack Steele. Off to Cordy. Smothered by Ross. Picked off by Wanganeen-Milera, who's kick pitches and favours Broad, who darts one way and the other. Gets rid of Butler. Kicks towards goal. That's going to be some sort of a goal. He's had a big week, Broad. First child, a rare goal. Oh, no.
I believe it's a goal. Grizz confirmed it wasn't touched before crossing the goal line.
Thanks, Jack.
Don't spoil the theatre.
Otherwise call it a goal. Please confirm the ball was touched.
That's a goal.
It's a goal.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball cross the back of the goal line without being touched. Decision on scoreboard.
So every match he's ever played with a child, he's kicked a goal.
Quality smother and pressure in the forward half creates opportunities like this where the defenders can play up and intercept on the exit. And a bit of individual brilliance there by Nathan Broad. A little rock the baby.
Holding, Richmond, press here. Stand.
And he does. To Ross. And now Martin. 23rd touch coming up for Dustin Martin. Dow off is short. Spearing kick into the space for Liam Baker, who just gives Dustin Martin the thumbs up.
I almost went with, he's been pretty influential today, but his kicking efficiency's been down. Prior to that kick, he was going at 22%. But that's how absolutely deadly he can be. Beautifully weighted into a tiny pocket of space.
You can see the Richmond players just setting up for that space. That was the leading zone. Baker worked into it and Martin found him. So Liam Baker for his third of the afternoon. Always left.
I think it's important to understand that there is a lot still going right for Richmond, albeit the result and the scoreboard don't reflect that. But in the contest around clearance, you can't question their effort and intensity.
Saints through the middle, battle. Strong hands again to Stocker. Charging at him in the end, Coulthard. Butler gets away from Pickett, gets the kick inside 50. First man there, Nathan Broad, just kicked the third goal of his career moments ago. Now defending, kick. Finds its way into the hands of Jaden Short. Dow, little handball to McIntosh, who runs into trouble. Somehow got rid of the football. Hunter Clark started the game as a sub, now to Stocker. Last two goals of the game to the Tigers, Taranto and Broad.
Arm interference, St.Kilda.
So Max King, if you've just dialed in, 6-1 for the afternoon. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. We did kick 2 in the fourth. Nice man to do that. Charlie Curnow against Eagles this year. Before that, Jake Carlisle, 2014 as a Bomber. Membry retreats back to Wilkie. Wilkie to Battle. To Hill. Over the top to Webster. Just a neat little kick in the end. Sets up Windhager, who moves it on down the line. Gresham. First 2 of the afternoon. Has 3 next to his name. Keen to make it 4. You're a pretty good judge, Jonesy.
I think he keeps it.
I'm going with you.
He's been really, really positive today down there, obviously hitting the scoreboard.
Brings it back. Not far enough.
Margin 37 points. 8 minutes to play. Saints eyeing off 6th spot. Short's kick. Past Baker, past Windhager and out. Such an important game for St Kilda. There's Jack Steele. Dustin Martin leading the game with 12 possessions, 23 for the game, 5 inside 50s, a couple of behinds. Clark wrapped up by Nankervis. Steele can't get the hands free, somehow got it to Marshall. Bounces it inside 50. Broad tracks it back, spins straight into Owens. Mitch Owens, who joined the system as an inside mid, looks very comfortable now as a forward. There's the ladder. Saints just buy themselves a bit of breathing space.
They'll be barracking hard for Port Adelaide later today, Saints fans, to keep the Giants at bay. But the ladder is like one of those puzzles you've completed. You've done 90% of it. You still have no idea what it looks like in the end.
Yeah, ladder predictor's the greatest time waster at this time of the year, isn't it? Goes straight out the window. No idea what's going to happen between now and September. Mansell, one result can just change everything. Bolter out, and there's Jimmy Webster looking a little worse for wear.
Particularly with how tight it is, like the Saints, 7.5 minutes roughly on the clock. See, Jimmy Webster knocked the wind out of himself. Getting back to what I was saying, though, every minute, every goal, every point is going to count. The percentage for the Saints in particular, with where they sit on the ladder.
Trent Cotchin announced his retirement during the week. Farewell game still to come for him. Richmond's only triple premiership captain.
He's been a club changer, hasn't he, in so many ways, on the field, off it. Significant part of football history, not just the Tigers. And Curtis runs himself into a spot of bother. Umpire will throw it up. He arrived with plenty of hype. Had some issues early with injury. Once he got going, he never really stopped. I remember so much conjecture as to choosing the wrong way to kick it against Port Adelaide. He took it very hard. Since then, hardly put a foot wrong. Pickett. Taranto eases it to the outer side. And Jonesy, you were a captain at a club that was battling one point. He was, I think, 22 when he took over the captain's armband and led from the front. As they go forward again, the Tigers, big fly from Bolter. Wilkie kept it in. Ross, Rioli. The chance comes open again through Bolter, working his way through the door. Taranto back by hand. Mansell floats it forward again. Who's at home? Couple of Saints. Windhager is strong. Well, that captaincy comes with plenty of pressure. The captain says, oh no, I just take it in my stride. But when you speak behind closed doors, it is a weight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was 24 at the time for me personally. But Koch's leadership transcended Richmond, really. Like, looking from afar, I know the impact and influence he had on even my own leadership style, just watching what he was able to achieve, both on the field with the way he led with his actions, but off it as well. What an incredible player and incredible leader of what was an amazing era for their footy club.
Big fend from Flostone on Butler. Brings it inside for Rioli. Now to Pickett. McIntosh running hard from the back. You can see him bottom of screen. Martin will have it 52 metres out. Will he wheel around onto his right and launch? Spears to the pocket. Lace out to Noah Bolter, who turns, snaps and hits the post. And when you see the likes of Charlie Curnow and Dustin Martin hit those low flat kicks that get there so quickly, they're just beautiful to watch.
Look, money can't buy that stuff, really. That is just, there's a rare talent to be able to kick the ball with such penetration and accuracy, and Dusty's certainly one of those.
Prestia tried to plough through, gives away the free kick for the high fend in the process, and Higgins will have it. He'll square it to Mason Wood.
Outside 5.
Just finishing off on Trent Cotchin. I remember after the qualifying final win in 2017 against the Cats, he was the last man in the room just picking up Gatorade bottles and putting them in the bins. It's a bit like he is. So Steele, speaking of good captains, to Rowan Marshall, who floats it over the top to Ross. Quick handball, Filippo, Wanganeen-Milera. They get going here, the Saints. Memory back to Wanganeen-Milera. Can he finish a good goal? Well, bounces back still. Dangerous ball for the Richmond defence. King, somehow Young stole it from within. Got the handball away to Rioli. Now to Nankervis, wide ball, Prestia. Heard the call of Jack Ross. The fumble, a little messy on the outer side, but time to regather. Give to Prestia. Prestia goes down the line to Bolton. Don't often see that. Dropped it, left it. And then this ugly passage of play might end up with the Saints rolling through the middle. Filippo turns, looks deep. Couple of Saints. Only Flostone. Out the back, Membry. He and Higgins. Membry kicks it. Goal. Across the face and killed. Punch through from one behind.
Bit of fatigue in that last passage of play. A lot of mistakes there. 37 points of margin, 3.5 to play. Owens, not quite. And it finds its intended destination in McIntosh. Just chips it over the head of Martin, coming out to meet it Rioli. Keeps it alive, brings it inside to Nankervis. Back to McIntosh. Bauer. He's gone back while Bolter's going forward. It'll be a downfield free kick for the high shot. Ross to Rioli, on the bounce to Bolton. Back to Dan Rioli. And inside to Martin. Does he have another laser? Just needs to lock onto a target. Pulls the kick at the last moment. It was intended for Coulthard, but Wanganeen-Milera got his hands to it and killed the play.
Last 5 or 6 minutes, you wouldn't put on a tape and send us sort of anyone overseas saying this is the best of our game.
No, it's not going on name a game, is it? It's been a great performance from St Kilda in the main. Marshall, Butler, nowhere to go. In the end, takes the tackle. Andrew McCalder watches on. Really interesting job, this Richmond job, and where they go from here with the list they have. Still so many good players, but obviously a bit of a changing of the guard at the top end. Ross had it slapped away. Graham lays the tackle on Cordy. There's St Kilda's run home. Not easy. Geelong, Brisbane. 4 points today, just so crucial, gets them to 6th. McIntosh from 51 metres. Winds up. Has it got the journey? It's still alive. Coulthard can turn and snap. And that doesn't score either. Out on the full.
It's going to be a long last 2 weeks for Saints fans. They need, you think, this and another. This tick, the other, question mark. Battle, quickly by hand. Ross overran it. Higgins to Steele. Steele over the line. So next week, they've got the Cats here on Saturday night, and then the road trip to the Gabba. It's like huge.
Next week's game is enormous.
And Curvis's little tap went in the direction of Hunter Clark. Jack Steele gift wraps it back to the Tigers.
And given the Cats are on the outside looking in, if the Saints are good enough to make it, they win next week.
Yep. If the Cats are good enough, they beat the Saints and the Dogs.
That's it. It's almost a bit of a round robin, isn't it, leading into the finals. Set for another cliffhanger finish to what's been a thoroughly entertaining, bit of a roller coaster season. All sorts of premiership favourites at different times.
I contacted him, Mark.
Saints supporter sitting near us. Mark Cohen, our floor manager, hasn't slept for about 9 rounds.
Toby Nankervis, who's worked so hard this afternoon up and back. Ivan Soldo was the sub, so he's had to ruck solo since then pretty much. Done a power running, hasn't he, up and down the ground?
Absolutely. And all of the bullocking work, he really does lead from the front.
And you get a goal for all his hard work this afternoon. 35 out, stuttering approach, just pushes it.
What did you miss finals by, Jonesy? Was it 0.5,
maybe?
Maybe even less.
Maybe less than that.
Yeah. So you think about all these Nankervis shots and how it all washes up in the end, who knows?
2017, I think it was. I still remember it was the worst feeling ever when it's out of your control.
I was about to say, Hayne, he was just getting over it, so thanks for bringing it up.
I've just been told by Sir Swamp Thing, 0.48%.
There you go. There you go, that makes you feel better.
I think you missed a shot at goal late in the year, Jonesy. Bauer flies terrific. He's had a good afternoon and been lively. Third game. Not ideal, the kick taken well by Cordy. Hunter Clark, Hill. Now Crouch. There's Max King. He thought he might end up with 8. Through hands, out the back. Kings, for the moment, nowhere to be seen. Grimes to Pickett. Pickett. A little confused as to what was on offer on the members' side. It doesn't matter much. The Saints have made it a dozen so far. 13, we think, is the number. Still plenty of work to be done for St Kilda. Geelong and the Lions in round 23 and 24, but if they're good enough, they'll get there. Down to you, CJ.
Thanks, Hamo. Got Max King with me. Max equal third time, kicking 6 goals. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Just couldn't manage one in the last.
I ran out of gas at the end, but yeah, I guess we were moving it so well that we got some really good looks down forward today, so it was great.
And the way the ball is getting moved off half-back and through the middle of the ground, you must be pretty pleased with the supply you're getting at the moment.
Yeah, it's great. It makes it so much easier for our forwards when we know what they're doing up the ground and really predictable. So, yeah, got on the end of the few today. It's nice.
And Ro, you've 65% ruck time, mate. Just doing it all yourself, getting a chop out your here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Cords, Cheeto gave me a bit of a chop out tonight and they competed. They followed up really well. So, yeah, it's good to see.
So you've gained a couple of positions on the ladder now, boys. What does that mean to both of you?
Yeah, I guess we know we've still got 2 really big games and, you know, we're just thinking week to week, how can we play our way and get the most out of the week. So we're not looking too far ahead.
Well, it looks like the Saints are really coming for September.
Yeah, like Maxie said, we're just taking it week by week at the minute. The old cliche, just a week at a time. So we'll review this, move on pretty quickly, and yeah, focus on next week.
Congratulations, boys. Enjoy the win.
It's hard not to think about it, but it's probably not the way to play. You do just need to think about next week. As boring that is, as that is for the viewers and the listeners, that's the process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, internally, they just have to kind of maintain the level of consistency that's been there for the whole year, maybe the last 18 months, just trying to keep the emotions in check, maintaining the focus, and really, as you said, it's a process-driven result for them to get to where they want to go, and they can't sort of deviate from that.
They managed this game really well today, didn't they? They came out with the intensity they needed. They got the game on their terms. They took control, never really challenged as we head back down to Jono.
Seb, thanks for joining us. 4 weeks out, mate. Didn't miss a beat.
No, it was really good. I was able to have a seamless rehab, Chris, so I was sort of able to keep really fit with hamstrings. You're able to sort of get running and going pretty early, so I didn't lose too much fitness, so I felt really good out here tonight.
Jose, you look pretty comfortable out there. You're only just starting your footy career, but you're looking very comfortable out there while you're having a kick of the footy.
Yeah, no, it's good to have help of other backmen like Wilkes and under the wing of Sinks as well, and yeah, got Maso living with, and he's really glad me, so yeah, credit to them.
And Seb, I guess about the young fella here, he's been pretty seamless in his entry into AFL football, and it's good to see the number 7 running around out there again.
Yeah, it's bloody awesome. He's going all right, the young fella, and he's sort of a bit nostalgic for me because I played with his old man Tezza at the Saints when I first got drafted, and he was a real smooth mover, and I can see where Naz gets it from.
And Naz gone a couple of positions on the ladder today. The Dogs went down to the Hawks. You're sitting in the top 6 now.
Yeah, no, we're focused on the process. He and Ross is big on process, so we take it one game at a time, and the results will come themselves.
Congratulations, boys. Thanks for your time.
So St Kilda with a crucial win over the Tigers have moved up to 6 on the ladder. They fend off the chasing pack for another week. Nick Del Santo and Dermot Brereton, they got the job done.